But I did pick out Ryan Fitzmagic. So how you feel about it?
Hey,
Hey, you
I'm
around
I'm
18
not
years.
surprised how long you've been in the league and so many teams. So I'm not surprised.
Yeah. I picked him off, but I picked off a younger version of Ryan. This older version of Ryan actually is pretty damn good, and he can flat out play. Don't forget the guy got benched in Miami for winning too much. So that tells you a lot about him and where he's at. And he's in the top, hey, believe this or not, he's in the top 5, top 6 in QBR and completions in the last 3 years of his career. He's got better. It's like wine. He's getting better. But I got something that I feel, as much as I know Ryan is going to help us win and he's going to be that guy, you know, sometimes in football, it's all about the story. I feel a Kurt Warner type story happening with Tyler Heineke. I just feel if Ryan Fitzmagic miss just 1 or 2 games, he'll never get his job back again. I feel that Tyler Heineke would get in there and really become Kurt Warner of the Washington football team. Yes, the guy that comes out of nowhere that was bagging groceries that turns into a Hall of Famer. I gotta feel it.
How does that OG title make you feel to know that you had made an imprint into this fan base and things like that?
Oh, that's what it make you feel. Oh, you used to look at the guys like B. Mitch and Doc Walker, you Sonny Jurgensen's, and you like, man, they played and they was a part of historic teams, and all of a sudden, we didn't have any history. I think we brought a different energy to the city, and just having the luxury of
turn that thing down a little bit. Shout out to CP.
Playing with Santana, myself, Marcus, Christian.
CP. Boom, remove that. Add to the string. Boom. Add it. There we go. Oh, who am I missing? I'm missing somebody. Oh, I'm tripping. There we go. Had the wrong setup. Welcome back to another episode of the Trap or Die podcast provided by 214 Media. I'm your host, Marley Maul, Hen Dog Maul, Henny Maul, Coach Maul, all that good stuff. And I'm here with AJ. Dre is on the way. And then we got the good man, Rico, of the Street Scores YouTube channel. Rico's doing some good work over there on YouTube, on Street Scores YouTube channel, providing some analysis on the Washington Commanders. And you're gonna chop it up with us tonight for the Trap or Die side, man. So Rico, how you feeling tonight, boss? How you doing?
I'm good, just chilling. Starting to get hot down here. Just trying to staying safe and cool and getting this content out. Excited about the draft for sure.
Man, you said it's starting to get hot. Well, you in Atlanta, bro. What you talking about? It's starting to get hot. It ain't. It's been chilly up there, chilly down there or something, bro. What's up?
Yeah, it got the 30s a few days ago. Now we back in the 80s though. Like it ain't nothing though. Like it didn't.
Yeah, we had a wake up call today. I was before I left for my workout. It was I usually keep the AC, the heat on, and it was like 72. I usually leave it at 72, and all of a sudden I start sweating in the house. I check my temperature on my phone. That motherfucker say 77 degrees in the house, bro. I got the hoodie on and everything, sweating bullets. I'm like, yeah.
Looking crazy.
I'm like, everybody say it's starting to add up, bro. Like, you see this right now. That's why I got my hand tied right here with me. AJ, how you feeling, big dog? Everything good with you?
Yes, sir, man. Here on the West Coast for a little bit. Come back tonight, do some business, man. But excited to be on the show with you guys tonight.
Absolutely, man. Y'all know you're a boss. This a busy time for you, for real, ain't it? Cause everything that you got going on during the time of the all season.
Yeah, just been chilling, but clients, they got stuff going on. Gotta meet with different people. Draft coming up, just trying to make some plays happen during the off season. So
I got you. Hey,
so we're at in the West Coast too. I'm just curious.
Say that again.
So we're at in the West Coast.
I flew out to LA today.
What part? You in a specific part?
I don't even really know, but I think it's supposed to meet like downtown near the Staples Center.
Okay, just be like safe out there, my boy.
Oh yeah, nah, man, I don't fuck around. That's why I'm coming in and leaving right back out later on tonight on the red eye. I don't mess. I hate LA, bro. Like LA, it's different out here. It's like if you're gonna be out here, especially if you got money, whatever, you a target. Like no matter if you black, white, yellow, blue, green, like it just don't get reported as much. But it's a lot of shit that goes on that You know, the streets know.
Oh
Yeah, I'm
man.
about to say that's
Nah.
the part right there.
Street score. He
That-
keeping the street score.
There it is. There it is. Hey, so before we get into some things, man, just let the people know, like on our side, obviously, I know who you are. We know who you are, but I was talking to you and I didn't know that you was from Maryland. So I know the ATL part is the side that I know you on. But apparently, I'm not saying you've been around the area for a little minute. So I guess you've been a Skins fan since like a kid, or we talking
Oh
about
yeah,
like,
I could have been born in Alaska. I would have ended up being one because my mom and them heavy
okay.
Burgundy and Gold fans
Okay.
too. But my older cousins, they're DMV. My mom and them are all DMV.
Okay.
I was born in somewhere in Maryland, but I know I lived in Bowie, lived in Mitchellville, all of that type of stuff, Largo area. I can't remember the name of the places. My mom always gets upset because she be trying to put the New Balance on me. She like, you mumbo sauce, you go, you DMV, you PG County. But yeah,
don't talk about no go-go around AJ. AJ not a fan of it. I ain't no fan of the go-go.
I actually rock with it. I mean, it's not for me, but I rock with it. I mean, I just like a place to have they sound. You know, me being from Atlanta with most stuff sounding like Atlanta, I appreciate when the West Coast sound like West Coast, Detroit sound like Detroit, Louisiana sound like DC got go-go. So I rock with all of that.
Hey, you know what's crazy? Last night I stumbled across this show that Kelly Clarkson and Snoop Dogg host, and pretty much they pick like one person to perform one of their original songs from each state, and the states compete against each other. So last night the dude representing DC, his name is Neither. Man, that boy was singing like some R&B song, and then all of a sudden that shit just broke into some go-go, and Snoop Dogg started dancing his ass off. He was like, "Yeah, that's the go-go flavor I like to hear." Song was trash, but
hey, man, whatever. We moving on, man. I ain't trying to hear none of that. Hey, so one thing, man, and we don't have to be too down, but because of AJ and Dre know, but because of our show schedule, we don't have much time to talk about every single thing. So I just wanted to get this part out of the way, man. If everybody or anybody has some things to say about Dwayne Haskins, given his situation over the weekend, man, the floor is yours. I mean, I'll go ahead and say one thing on my side. And I think, obviously RIP, that's the first and foremost. I think one of the things that stood out to me, man, when the outpour came out from people around the league, specifically his teammates in Pittsburgh, you immediately realized that this was a guy who, obviously we knew like the side of him, he had some growing up to do, but that had nothing, like he was never a negative person. He was never a bad individual. It was all about just growing and becoming a better person from a professional standpoint. That had nothing to do with his personal life. He was a glowing individual. He made people happy. He looked out for others. All of these things, man. And so it sucks to kind of see what happened to him. Obviously, it's a tragedy, and I just feel for his parents first and foremost, and his family. And what stood out is just the outside of his players and teammates is the flashbacks that I had, man. I don't always talk about this. AJ knows and Dre knows, I lost my sister some time ago. What is it, 2022? Oh, Jesus Christ. 2008. Y'all do the math. Y'all know I'm not that good at math. But I lost my sister that long ago, and like the tragedy that struck, my family. That's kind of how I saw this when I read it. Like, I'm over here doing a podcast on the Hogstye, and I'm reading an alert. Dakota, this not about you. I'm reading an alert and seeing, what's going on, and like the shock had me stuck for about 20 minutes, fellas. So just immediate flashbacks about, what I went through and understanding what his family's about to go through. I just pray for his family, man, and I pray that they have the strength to keep pushing, understanding that, it's going to be hard, but it's at this point that you got to make sure that Dwayne Haskins lives through you as in the family member and things like that. So if y'all had anything to say about Dwayne, man, the floor is yours. We can move forward after.
Yeah, I think Dwayne had an infectious personality. He cared about his people, cared about his community. No matter if you're black, white, whatever, he was well-versed in both worlds. As you can see, a lot of love was shown, and empathy was given from the people that he hung out with and coaches. And, you know, those that have met him along his journey from New Jersey to the Washington, D.C. metropolitan area to college to, you know, coming back home to play for Washington and then, you know, going about things in Pittsburgh. But just overall, man, like I just felt that pain instantly for that family. And, you know, even Dwayne, he really felt like he had a real chance to reclaim his career, which sounds
Yeah.
crazy saying for someone 24 years old reclaiming their career.
He
But
went
in
through
the
so much.
reality, yeah, he went through so much being back home, which a lot of people don't understand that pressure of being back home. Everyone knows you, everyone has access to you. You're not that far away, and now you're being, you know, featured as having to be the guy, but you also have newfound responsibilities with, you know, all this new money. Everyone can Google and see how much money you have. You know, you have a lot of people that just want to stick around. Is like 24 years old, man. He ain't even really lived life all the way. But fortunately for him, he was able to accomplish, you know, his dreams of playing at Ohio State and making it to the NFL, being a first round pick, which is something you can't take lightly because there's so many people that want to play at this high level of football and very few make it. So to even get there and be at that level, you know, is a big time accomplishment. Like you, Maul, man, you know I've been dealing with so much tragedy. It hasn't even been a year, but I've had 4 loved ones pass away in the last 7 months, including my mom. Um, it fucked me up, like finding that out, like because at the end of the day, I was just looking at something he posted some hours before, or even
Mm-hmm.
like commenting on like some of our mutual friends pages recently, like in the last 24 hours. So it's like, damn, like what the hell happened? You feel me? And
Yeah.
it just puts you in a weird state of mind. And even for me, man, I've been dealing with this newfound thing of anxiety ever since like all these passings. It just gave me anxiety, like because I know the trauma that that brings, man. Like your family dynamic will never be the same again. Like never be the same. There's no answers from God or anybody that can really help. You know, I know a lot of people rely on faith, but the reality is like that person is never coming back, and you just have to live on with life knowing that that happens, and you kind of just feel like am I really enjoying this life that I'm living, or am I just living to be existing? So it's a very traumatic situation. My thoughts and prayers are with his family, his community, with anyone that had any type of relationship with him, and even to those that may not have. Man, just look at things that happen around you, especially situations like this, and understand that tomorrow isn't promised and try to love on your loved ones and don't get so caught up in these beefs or arguments with people because you really don't know
Petty
when your
shit.
life could be over. Like this shit is really precious. Like you really have to be delicate with it in the decisions that you make and the way that you go about treating people. Sorry if I got too deep, but
Nah,
that's
hey man, look,
that was on
Nah,
the
that's
that's
spot. I
real
that's the
wasn't
talk.
planning on
platform.
speaking about it,
Yeah,
but
Yeah.
like
hell
yeah,
yeah,
that's
that's
just
the
how it
platform
is.
we on, bro. Say what you gotta say. Absolutely. Rico, the floor is yours if you got something to say. I don't know if you spoke on it already or not.
Nah, I mean, I just said my RP in the video, but I mean, first of all, y'all said everything that could be said. That was beautiful. And for me, I mean, I think I mostly feel for his sister. Like, I didn't know how strong of a bond they had. Like, he was her biggest fan, she was his biggest fan, and things like that. So, of course, I feel for everybody, but I really feel for his sister in that situation. But I was happy to see how many people came and defended him. Like when Adam Schefter had that insensitive tweet, then you had the older guy that said something crazy, and people have been on their heads about it. It's just sad at the overall situation, but I was happy to see that so many people were like ready to go up in arms for Dwayne Haskins. So that was really dope.
Yeah, man, people just ignorant, bro. And that Gil Brandt dude, he worse than ignorant. He beyond ignorant with that shit. But Adam, you know, I mean, it is what it is, bro. R.P. Dwayne, man, that shit was obviously tragic, bro. So, all right, let's get past that, man. R.P. Fellas, ladies and gentlemen, everybody that's listening, all that good stuff. We rarely touch these waves, these type of things that dives into the owner and the front office and all those things, but we got to do it for a split second. It's not going to take long, but there is some sort of an update with Dan Snyder, the House Oversight Committee, Committee on Oversight and Reform specifically. So essentially, what we have going on right now. Actually, let me pull it up. Carol Maloney of that Committee on Oversight Reform sends a 20-page letter to the FTC, the Federal Trade Commission, basically outlining some claims, some financial claims that the commander shared some revenue which was disguised as earnings from non-NFL events like college football concerts and concerts hosted at its stadium, and essentially skimmed and stole $5 million away from the NFL, which it has belonged to them. It's an update on what one of the previous reports of a whistleblower, in a sense, reporting to Congress and the Oversight Committee, essentially letting them know that the where is it at? That Dan Snyder and the Washington Commanders have been. Where is the letter? Hold on one second. Friedman, there he is. Yeah, basically withheld security deposits for customers for a number of years. So I will say this because I know I didn't go through the whole thing, and there's a lot right here that I would have to say out loud, and I really don't feel like doing that, and I don't think everybody wants to hear this. But when it comes to things like this, everybody's going to be able to hear it over the next couple of days because this is news breaking. This is a significant update on the documents and the claims of Washington Commanders spending money that's not supposed to be theirs or keeping money that's not supposed to be theirs. I would just say this. It's only an update in terms of what has been going on. I don't think that there's a conclusion yet. So I would say that if you all have anything to say on the issue, that's fine. But just provide an update that as you continue to move forward throughout this week, understand that there is no conclusion yet. This is only an update, and the FTC will have to be willing to take on this investigation that the Oversight Committee will be providing them or inquiring about them about this situation with the Washington Commanders. So that's my little janky update. I don't know if you all got anything to say about this, or if you all have an indication on whether Dan Snyder may actually be in trouble with this one. But I'll give the floor to you all if you have anything to speak on with this thing.
I mean, I think right now what's going on is they're trying to get Daniel Snyder out of there. You feel me? So either he's gonna have to give in, or government might have to step in and make some type of decision for, the owners, something of that nature. But they're definitely trying to get this man up out of there. Like, whether it be the reports not being released or this, because it's getting tricky. You feel me? And it's like you might have to open up the books for every other team in the NFL if you start doing this. So those guys pairing up together like against Daniel Snyder is probably what's gonna happen. I mean, I don't know who buys the team. I wish I had enough money to buy the damn team. But Daniel Snyder's in a win-win, man. You can't lose. Like, yeah, that's his lifelong team that he's been loving his whole life, but it's not even called the Redskins no more. It's called the Commanders. If he does have to sell it, he's gonna make at least $3-4 billion. The team is worth $4.5 billion. So is he in a lose situation? Hell nah. Like, he's just gonna get richer. So I don't pay much attention to this shit because I'm just like, fans, yeah, let's get rid of Daniel Snyder, but who the fuck is gonna buy the team? How do you know they're not gonna be worse? You feel me?
Yeah, I think my biggest thing with this, and this is why I mainly brought it up. And I guess I'll read one paragraph so we can have like actual full clarity on our show. It's probably fair because I know I jumbled through it. But basically, according to information, this is from Carol Maloney herself. But according to information and documents obtained by the committee, for over a decade, the Commanders' executives may have withheld millions of dollars in refundable security deposits owed to customers upon the expiration of their multi-year seat leases and may have taken steps to prevent customers from collecting these deposits. According to a former team executive, which is Jason Friedman, the Commanders failed to properly refund those security deposits intentionally and took various steps to retain as much of that money as possible. So documents that indicate as of 2016, the team may have retained up to $5 million in deposits from approximately 2,000 customers. Now, if you all are interested, there is a full link out for the letter from the Oversight Committee to Lena Khan. If you were to Google it, you'll be able to find that information. And you can read the whole 20-page document. But we're not going to go through that 20-page document on this show. With Snyder getting into so much trouble as he is to this point, whether it's the sexual harassment, whether it's the investigation on himself, all of those things, time is running short. Like, we had so much time in the 2010s to try and work on a stadium deal. The lease expires in 2027, and Washington, or the Commanders, are, while they have Virginia and Maryland that's still competing against one another, there's no decision made by the Washington Commanders yet. And I don't think they know what they want to do just yet. So I think my concern is, I don't know how much trouble Dan Snyder is in because he's being investigated, where it'll prevent him from building the stadium in due time. So that's my concern, is that we still may end up in FedEx in 2027, not necessarily because of a direct result of this, but just off the strength that, because so many things are being occupied by Daniel Snyder right now, I don't know if we'll be able to strike a deal in time to even like put the shovels in the dirt, so to speak, in 2022. There we are. There we are. What's going on, Dre? How you feeling, bro?
What's up, man? I'm, running a little late today. It was nice outside. Plus, I had to work, so had to do a little things, let the dog out for a bit.
I mean, look, well, you good, because we getting straight into football now, man. We didn't did the Carol Maloney stuff. We don't never do that shit on here, but we had to give a little update given it happened today. But now we get into some football stuff, man. So Rhino, what's going on, boss man? He says Jeff Bezos to DC. So DeAndre Carter, he moved on and moved to the Los Angeles Chargers, and obviously catching up on the roster moves, and we'll be talking about Terry McLaurin shortly and some of the past top 30 visits from the prospects and stuff like that. We're going to start with DeAndre Carter, given his situation and given his time with the Washington Commanders. His one season, he averaged 25 yards on kick returns, which was fourth in the league, and including a 101-yard touchdown in Week 4. But then obviously averaged 8.4 yards on punt returns, which was 11th in the league. I have to ask, is this a big deal with Carter moving on, given that he only signed a $1-point-something million contract, less than $2 million annually? I think it's only a year deal to begin with. Is this a big deal, or just general thoughts on the move for him not being a Washington Commander in 2022?
Yeah, I'll go ahead. I like DeAndre Carter, as you all know. I was pointing him out last offseason as a guy to watch that could stick on his roster, but I don't think it's a huge deal. I didn't like not signing him, but I knew something was up when they didn't sign him on early on, because they seemed to re-sign all of the guys that they wanted back. And he was the guy that was kind of floating out there. And I noticed, I said, okay, he's, it's been a long time now, and they haven't kind of made any progress with him. So to me, it sounded like they wanted to move on from him, because obviously they could have signed him back if they wanted to. So to me, the thought was maybe he wasn't the wide receiver, or maybe he didn't give them what they wanted at wide receiver, or maybe they felt like they had enough at wide receiver, or they're going to add more at wide receiver, and that his position was just expendable at this point. But as a Washington fan, for a long time now, we've been wanting this reliable return guy, and he seemed pretty reliable, although he did have a couple of fumbles that we were lucky to get back this past season. So I don't know if all of that kind of factored in, but now going forward, I'm just wondering, who's that guy? Is it going to be Dax Milne? Maybe Jared Patterson, he works on something, but they're gonna have to find a guy there. But I guess it's gonna be a guy that's gonna have to contribute elsewhere and not just on returns.
I mean, I feel with the DeAndre Carter situation, it's been Washington's front office formula all off season, man. They kind of just been waiting for teams to put out other offers to their guys, and either we gonna match it or not. And in this situation, they should have been able to easily match that deal. Like that ain't shit. You feel me? He could be a full time. He could be a full time wide receiver, not full time wide receiver, but full time kick returner, punt returner, and also if you have an injury to Curtis Samuel, you know that you could bring him in to run the gadget plays because more than likely you're gonna go wide receiver at the 11th overall draft pick. But now you know you're in a situation where you don't even have that many draft picks. Um, you probably need to go get a wide receiver that can do everything, that can play wide receiver, can do kickoff return and punt return. Y'all know who I've been rocking with. So Jameson Williams can do he can do all of those at an elite level. Because if you take a Olave, a London, a Wilson, they can't. That's not in their game. You feel me? But now you have to address somebody in that kickoff position. Yeah, you could sign somebody off the street, but it's like you just had a dude in your locker room and already know how he functions, and it's a super cheap deal. It's like why wouldn't you re-sign that person overall? So it just doesn't make sense. But I mean, they keep creating more holes for themselves. But
Rico, where you at with it?
I mean, at this point, they must know something that we don't. For me, like, cause to y'all point, like he was so cheap. It's just like when you replace him, where you're gonna, even if it's a later round draft pick, they're gonna be cheaper. But 1.7 mil for his services, I think, was fully worth it. And I mean, maybe they know like Jared Patterson or Curtis Samuel, Danny Johnson, somebody's ready to step up big time because I don't see what we're shaving off $1.7 million for. He may have taken a little bit less than that just to stay where he was comfortable, already knew the system and things like that. So I don't know what that $1.5 million is going to. I guess a Terry extension, but I mean, for me, much as I hate the Falcons, and I mean, so many little things had to go right for us to win that game. And DeAndre Carter's kickoff return touchdowns was one of them. Without that, we probably don't win. So if anybody is gonna miss DeAndre Carter, it's me, man. And I really wish we would have brought him back because he was technically our wide receiver too for a minute. Wasn't a great one, but by default, he ended up being that. And so, I mean, at the very least, a wide receiver 5 or 6, I think he's solid.
Well, I did want to add one more thing on that. So looking at the depth chart, and even last year when we kept DeAndre Carter, which kind of surprised people, I think we carried 7 wide receivers going into the season. And I think going into this season again, that would be the case. And we even carried 8 wide receivers at some point, which is it's overkill for the wide receiver position because that's taken away from another position in need. So looking at the, who we have now on the wide receiver chart, we have 5 guys that are locks right now. You have Terry, you have Diami Brown, you have Cam Sims, who they just signed again, Curtis, and I think Dax Milne. They really like that guy. So that's about 5 guys, and that's not even including Antonio Gandy Golden, but they already cut him, so I don't think it would be, out of the room for them to cut him again. But I think, like I said, you're going to draft a wide receiver in this draft. So that's going to leave you at 6 locks pretty much at the wide receiver position. So then that leaves DeAndre Carter as a 7th wide receiver. And a lot of people just don't think you need 7 wide receivers on a roster in the NFL these days. So I think that may have played a factor. But again, you're going to have to find someone to take over. And I think someone has to be on that roster right now because I don't know if I'm drafting a wide receiver at 11 and wanting him to have kick and punt return duties. Especially, and I like Jameson Williams like AJ does as well, but coming off an ACL injury, I wouldn't want to put all of that on him whenever he does come back.
I think my thing with the whole returner situation, like I understand the receiver spot. I always ask this question when I see things like this. It's not just Washington. It's when somebody says that something's easily replaceable, and on a specific position that has been inept for close to a decade, how can you really say that something like that is easily replaceable? I can understand moving on from Carter. Like that makes a ton of sense in how you would break something down. I can understand the logic behind it. You think you can find something else elsewhere, but if your idea or if your logic is something that's easily replaceable, you got to understand what Carter brought to the team. That's a spark that you never really had before, or you haven't had under this regime. You haven't had it in a long time. The only somewhat spark that you had was 2016 with Jamison Crowder. Like that was the last spark that you had, and then before that, consistently it was Brandon Banks. So you really didn't have anything going on at that position, a special position. Like it's three phases of a football game, and I think that to say that somebody's easily replaceable, I don't know about that. DeAndre Carter provided you value in front of you, like he said, "Hey, I am that nigga. Sign me, re-sign me. I proved that I'm capable of making these plays." And clearly, both sides. I'm not going to sit here and say Washington chose not to re-sign him. Maybe DeAndre. I mean, if it went that long, then probably it was on both sides because a deal clearly could have got done. But for them to move on is just interesting. I don't think it's a big deal per se, but it is interesting knowing that you had a guy who was productive for you and you decided to not retain him. I don't know, man. Rico, before we get to Terry McLaurin, I want to get your opinion on the offseason to this point. I think because as we talked about DeAndre Carter, he's one person that they decided not to even attempt to re-sign. At one point before the news came out, J.D. McKissick was an individual who went to Buffalo and he didn't get re-signed. But I mean, clearly he came back. There's other guys out there that they let walk. But at the same time, Eric Flowers is who they cut. Matt Ioannidis is who they cut. And then Tim Settle is the guy who they let walk. To be specific, where are you at with this offseason? And clearly Brandon Sheriff. I forgot about the big name, but Brandon Sheriff was walked. He was let walk too. Where are you at with this offseason, man? What is your grade if you had to give one? And how do you think that Ron Rivera and company are doing in terms of their reaction based on, their first full season together? How are they responding in this offseason, in your opinion?
All right, so I mean, I guess to start with a grade, somewhere maybe like a C+, because I mean, decent moves, but overall, I think we netted negative because losing Tim Settle and Matt Ioannidis, we don't necessarily have an immediate replacement for them yet, and I don't think it's worth necessarily drafting a defensive tackle as like a rotational piece early in the draft. So maybe you bring one in later, and maybe James Smith-Williams steps up, maybe Daniel Wise, one of those guys. And then guard-wise, I wanted to sign Andrew Norwell to replace Brandon Sheriff, and then we lost Eric Flowers too. So I guess Wes Schweitzer was starting right guard, which I like Wes Schweitzer as a starter, but I love him as a backup more because he can play left guard, center, right guard, wherever you need him. And to not have that versatile piece as a backup, to have him as, a permanent right guard spot, that makes things weird because if he gets hurt, if Chase Roulette gets hurt, we've had a lot of injuries in the offensive line. Who's going to be that backup? I guess Sadiq Charles and Tyler Larson for center. And then also, I'm not big on the Carson Wentz trade. For me, I'm one of those people. He's here now. Let's do it. Let's go get him some weapons. Let's but like definitely in hindsight, I would have preferred to maybe try to get a quarterback in the for bias reasons and objectively, I really wanted Malik Willis.
I knew.
Yeah.
It.
So it's kind of half and half. I think he boomer bust, but I like that elite potential, and then also to have bias from where he's from, where he went to high school and all of that. And so I would have preferred that route because then we could have kept our third round picks. This is going to be one of the deepest drafts in NFL history just because the player pool is the largest in NFL history because of the pandemic. A lot of guys that would have went in last year's draft are waited to go in this year's draft. So there's just going to be a larger player pool than it should be. It's going to be deeper than the previous draft, deeper than the next draft, and especially at positions that we need, like linebackers really deep, receivers really deep. You can argue safety, interior offensive linemen. And so, not having that third round pick, we already don't have a fifth as well. I think that's going to hurt us in the long run, which is why I think we may end up being a trade back candidate just because what are we going to go from pick 11, 47, then we don't pick again to the fourth in a draft where the third round is going to be a sweet spot for several positions. So it's not that I necessarily hate Carson Wentz. I just hate what trading for him had as a domino effect on this team as far as building around the quarterback position. And again, I just really wanted Malik Willis.
But you being honest though, because I think one of the things that is important here, and one of the follow-ups I was actually going to ask you if Wentz was more of an answer to you or more of a band-aid, and I think you kind of answered that in a sense. But I think that the important part here is understanding the ripple effect of trading for Carson Wentz. I've said it a few times, fellas. Like when we ask what the plan is, AJ still doesn't know, and I think that's a valid response. But my answer was the plan was Carson Wentz. They just wanted a fucking quarterback, and they'll figure out the rest after. They already told fucking Matt Ioannidis, hey man, at the combine, they told Matt Ioannidis, your agent, well look, Matt is safe. You don't have anything to worry about. They trade for Carson Wentz. All of a sudden, Matt Ioannidis is trade bait. I mean, or he's cut. Like all of these things, the ripple effects that you didn't have going on. You had to cut Eric Flowers because he wanted more money. And he priced himself out. You was going to keep Landon Collins because he agreed to a restructure, but then you had to ask him to take less money because of the Carson Wentz deal. So now you got to cut him. So all of these things, the ripple effects that you're talking about, is legitimate. So,
but is it really legitimate? Because I feel like a lot of. I'm sorry, I just got back in. I don't know. I was trying to get back in here. Y'all was sounding like monsters and shit. But but I don't know if it's really legitimate because it's self-inflicted, bro. Like at the end of the day, the general public knew that Carson Wentz was going to be available this off season.
Oh no, we're on the same page. I'm saying I was saying it's legitimate in terms of Rico was mentioning the fact that the ripple effects that came because of the Carson Wentz deal. He didn't appreciate that part, and I was saying that part is legitimate.
But it really came because they accepted his $28 million contract instead of letting the coach eat that shit.
I'm with you.
If like that's the major part of getting that deal done. Like they were gonna have to eat that shit irregardless, and instead Washington said, "No, we'll take it." Like wait, so when you take it. Now you fuck up your whole depth at D tackle. You fuck up everything else that you wanted to possibly do in the offseason. Now you sitting here running back and telling us Cole Holcomb can be your middle linebacker. Like, what really changed, bro? Like, you just told us in January after the season that you needed a veteran middle linebacker. Now you get Wentz. Oh, yeah, we like Cole Holcomb's development at middle linebacker. Yeah, we don't really think it's a need there. We can play with Cole Holcomb at middle linebacker and just watch him get washed up in the running game. So it's just idiotic to me. I don't know. I'm dumbfounded by shit.
Look, I'm with you. I said it earlier today, man. This team confuses the shit out of me. I really don't get it. Sometimes, like, if I had to give a grade on the offseason, I said C-. The C- is because of Carson Wentz, the player, not the package, but the low grade is off the strength of everything that happened after Carson Wentz. You weren't able to pursue anybody really. And if you did want to pursue somebody, you had to wait a little bit until you got a little bit more cash. You had to make some adjustments in that regard. People say that salary cap is a myth. Well, guess what? It's that I think that is
it's
a cliche
real for
BS
us.
line. It is. I think it's a cliche BS line, bruh. At the end of the day, man, that money still exists. Yes, you can maneuver things around, but at the same time, when you cash trap, bro. Ain't much you could do. And they paid $28 million, a hefty price for 1 year. Carson Wentz, man. I'm not with that. If you had anything to say on the Carson Wentz and all-season thing, the floor is yours. Otherwise, we're gonna get to this hypothetical.
Well, I mean, I was just gonna say, I don't think any of us were, advocates of Carson Wentz before this trade went down. But obviously, this is Ron, like you said, Jamal, this is Ron Rivera's plan. This is what they believe that this guy is their answer. That's why when people were still talking about, oh, they can draft a quarterback at 11, I was like, no, you don't make that trade for Carson Wentz if you still think you need another guy. Like, he may not be the guy, but this is Ron Rivera's. This is his answer or whatever he thinks the solution to this team is. And he's going to live or die by this decision that he made this offseason for Carson Wentz. So that's what interests me about this whole thing. I still can't give a complete grade on the offseason yet because obviously you still have the draft. And then I think a lot of people underrate the June 1st. It's like a whole nother free agency period. Once a lot of guys start getting cut and then you have, we're going to be free of some money on June 1st because of our post June 1st cuts like Landon Collins. You get an extra $12 million in. So once I see, the draft, then, maybe if you get active, you might get lucky. You get a linebacker after June 1st or something because I'm with AJ and I don't believe Cole Holcomb is a middle linebacker and I hope that's not the plan this year. You know, because if that is the plan, you just got to hope everybody else around him just got 10 times better. So, yeah. So obviously, like I said, I'm just going to wait and see. Before I give a grade. Like I want to see what they do in the draft, because obviously anything can happen in the draft. Like Rico said, maybe you do a trade down. Like that's my favorite option right now. Like I'm looking at the Saints with pick 16 and 19. Maybe they move up for a quarterback and they give us both of those picks. You get better there. And then, like I said, June 1st. So I'm just waiting to see it collectively before I kind of judge going into the season.
That's a good point about the June 1st. And
yeah.
And I also wanted to say, like, if you look at the offseason overall, we pretty much only netted Andrew Norwell. Like, that's the only addition we've made from an outside team. So I mean, the Cowboys got it worse than us offseason wise, but I mean, we're not doing too much better.
But I mean, the Cowboys already got they got talent. You feel me? So they got their quarterback, they got their running back.
But they lost some too. They lost a little bit.
They lost Cooper, but I feel like Cowboys are going to take another wide receiver.
They lost Randy Gregory too. Randy Gregory, he's gone.
They lost Gregory, the other receiver.
Gallup is not going to be healthy to start the season. So I don't think anybody in the division necessarily got much better, you know, to the point where we are so much behind them. I think it's going to be a dogfight this year in the NFC East.
So fellas, speaking of offseason moves, man, there's one thing, and while this is a hypothetical, I think it's a larger conversation. So the hypothetical in itself is from Peter Schrager of NFL Network. Peter Schrager, first off, Darius, you're right, that $28 million did hurt. And Rhino mentioned that Rivera should just stick to being a head coach and not focus on that GM stuff. I feel it. But the hypothetical came from Peter Schrager of NFL Network, man, and he just asked Washington fans, would you accept the 22nd pick from the Packers for Terry McLaurin? Regardless of what our answer is with this one, I know what the answer is going to be from everybody. I think the larger discussion is focused on Terry McLaurin, and understanding that to this point there was a report. I think today is Tuesday, April 11th, April 12th. I think it was a report late last week that Washington had made no offer yet. And while I didn't anticipate them making an offer yet, I expected over the summertime. I think the conversation at large is understanding that Terry is heading into his last year and understanding that there may be some draft day offers for Terry. It's something where it's like, at what point do you say, I need to pull the trigger and capitalize on a talented player like Terry McLaurin? So the floor is you all's in terms of how you want to take this hypothetical, whether you want to answer it, whether you take the 22nd pick, or whether you your opinion is, fuck all that, we need to sign Terry McLaurin. The floor is yours, whoever wants to go first.
I'll take a stab at it first. With Terry, I'm not making that move unless I've decided I'm in rebuild mode at this point. Because right now you need Terry McLaurin. If you trade Terry McLaurin for the 22nd pick, you know, according to this hypothetical, then you're just trying to draft Terry McLaurin's replacement, and you're still back in square one and hoping that whoever you drafted, 11 or 22 is just as good as Terry McLaurin, whereas right now we're looking at adding to what we have in Terry because we think that Terry is the only reliable option we have in the wide receiver room right now. So if you trade Terry, you're down to 0 reliable options in the wide receiver room, and you're hoping to draft someone just as good as Terry. So I don't think you make that move for Terry unless you've decided that I'm in rebuild mode and I need to rebuild the talent of my franchise. And then you got to start getting rid of other guys too, because right now you traded for Carson Wentz to say, I want to win now. So you keep guys like Terry if you want to win now. So now I think the thing is now they have to start figuring out a way to try to keep Terry at most right now, because you have Carson Wentz on the roster. Now, if you went out and you got a rookie quarterback and you said, all right, well, we're not too interested in winning this year. We just want to develop this guy. Sure, we'll trade Terry McLaurin. We'll stockpile up on draft picks. Then you make that move. But right now, as the roster is, after that Carson Wentz move, you don't trade Terry. You add to what you have with Terry.
Yeah, I mean, I think the hypothetical is only being mentioned because for some reason this fan base wants Terry to get paid more than Terry wants to get paid at this moment. Like the market, I've been saying this from jump. Nobody at the wide receiver position that's of value should be rushing to sign a deal unless it blows it out the water. And until other guys start signing deals, such as the AJ Browns, the DK Metcalfs, and Debo Samuels, and possibly even Cooper Kupps, there's no reason that Terry should be rushing to sign a deal. I believe that he's in their long-term plans. I believe that he wants to stay here. But ideally, just for hypothetical reasons, I would not trade Terry McLaurin for a 22 overall pick. I know what I'm getting in Terry McLaurin. I don't know what I'm going to get in a 22 overall pick. That could be anybody. You just never know what could happen. I think what is interesting is, like, if you are in a position to make a move for a wide receiver at 11 overall in the draft, would you rather draft a guy, or would you rather sell that pick to a team such as, let's say, hypothetically, Seattle Seahawks for DK Metcalf, Tennessee Titans for AJ Brown, 49ers, Debo Samuel, or why maybe you didn't even make the move for Tyreek Hill from the Kansas City Chiefs? I'm just putting it all out there because you brought in Carson Wentz, so you're betting on him. That's why you can't go and acquire a Matt Corral or Malik Willis, with your first round pick. So in order to make things work for Carson, you got to put more talent around him. And wouldn't you rather get assets that you knowingly know about versus unknowingly know about?
Hypothetically, I would take AJ Brown without question. I don't need no Debo because I don't trust Scott Turner to use that motherfucker right. So I would take AJ Brown without a shadow of a doubt.
And yeah, to add to that, like, because AJ, you got a good point. Like, all the receivers that's like around the same contract range as Terry, whoever signs first is probably signing for the least. Like, once somebody gets it rolling, everybody else is gonna ask for a little bit more after that. So yeah, there's literally no reason for Terry to sign right now unless we're offering them crazy money that, like, no risk, like Devontae Adams type of money. Also,
and even Devontae signed for cheaper. Tyreek eclipsed them a week or two later.
Oh yeah.
That's why you can't rush to sign these deals. Like, that type of shit matters to these guys for some reason. Like, it don't really change the amount per se in your account, but they want the ability to say, I'm the highest paid at my position. And even for agents like Drew Rosenhaus, he likes being able to say that and pushing that narrative out there to use as a recruiting tool. That's why a lot of guys don't even know who's agents really in this industry, but they know who Drew Rosenhaus is because he always tries to push out that narrative, highest paid. But them deals get eclipsed in 24 hours. You feel me? That's why you have situations like Antonio Brown. He signed as the highest paid wide receiver in Pittsburgh, and in no time he was underpaid. He was underpaid in a year based on how the market was dictated, and he had to force himself out of there to go to Oakland.
It's a tricky situation, man. I think at the end of the day, I think we all know Terry needs to be in Washington. I won't exaggerate. I won't prolongate the conversation because I agree with all three of you all.
Just to add to it,
you got it.
I just wanted to, first of all, like, not only talent wise would you get another Terry with the 22nd pick, but also face of franchise wise, like, says all of the right things. He's the guy you bring out when you unveil the new jerseys, the new logo and everything. Are you going to draft another one of those 22nd overall pick? And lastly, with the one way that we try to convince ourselves like Carson Wentz might work out is by saying Terry McLaurin is the best receiver he's probably ever going to throw to so far in his career. You trade him away, like, what's the half glass full on the Carson Wentz situation? Because now he's just basically going to have maybe a worse receiving group than he had for the Colts, and we saw how he played towards the end of that season. So, you just got to keep Terry at all costs.
But let me ask y'all this, like, I want all of y'all opinion on this. You at 11, you're going wide receiver. Like I said, would you rather trade that pick for those wide receivers I mentioned, such as Debo, AJ Brown, DK Metcalf, or what have you? Would you rather trade that pick and pay them alongside paying Terry, or would you rather draft your own guy? Dre probably remembers it better than me, but Jordan Reed of ESPN, he compared Chris Olave to What was it, Will Fuller?
Will Fuller, yeah, Will Fuller.
He compared Garrett Wilson to Stephon Diggs. He compared Drake London to Mike Williams. Would you rather take those guys and those comps that they're getting, or would you rather just trade the pick and pay wide receivers you already seen do it on a big level against the elite talent?
To me, that's a no-brainer. Especially a wide receiver, such a dependent position. I'm taking the rookie wide receiver and its potential. And the only reason why, now my answer to this will be different if we didn't already have Terry. But because you already have Terry, I'm okay with taking the rookie versus trading for one of those guys you mentioned and having to pay him and Terry, especially with Terry. You haven't even paid Terry yet. You're going to have to pay him. So now you have two big wide receiver deals. So I'd rather take the wide receiver on the rookie deal that is inexpensive. You won't have to pay him for 3 or 4 years. Take that guy, and he doesn't have to be the man right away because you already have the man. So he can develop right away. I mean, he can develop smoothly, whereas he's not going to see the double teams and everything because he already has Terry across from him. So he can actually develop the proper way where he won't have to come in day one, and he's going to get all of the attention on his side. So he can get some confidence and work his game up, and he can be a Deebo Samuel or like Jordan Reed, maybe one of the comps that Jordan Reed gave those guys. So that's a no-brainer for me. I'm taking the rookie instead of trading that for one of those guys you mentioned.
Same here. For it's like 50% the money because we're struggling to pay Terry McLaurin as is. You're gonna add another guy that we're gonna be struggling to pay. That's the reason. You draft a guy in the first round, you have him for another 5 years. Whereas DK, we're gonna be crunching the numbers trying to sign both of those guys. And then I love the talent of Jamison Williams. I like Chris Olave and Garrett Wilson and those guys. I like a lot of these receivers, but I'm just big Jamison. I think he's going to be a star. And I think even better, I prefer to draft George Pickens in the second than Chris Olave in the first, me personally. So, it's just such a deep receiver draft. I'll take a chance on those. And to Dre's point, if we didn't have Terry, I could understand. But we have Terry. We have the dependable. Go and take a risk on the guy since you have Terry as the dependable guy. And maybe you end up with 2-star receivers for cheaper.
Well, I would first and foremost, I would never take Olave at 11. I wouldn't do it. I would do that on the trade back. Only people I would take at 11 is Garrett Wilson and Drake London. And as much as y'all know, I love my boy Drake London. Give me motherfucking AJ Brown. I don't care what nobody else talking about. Look, let me tell you something. Let me tell y'all something right now. Everybody listening, let's pay attention. I would much rather pay AJ Brown and Terry McLaurin some money at the end of their deals. Goodbye, Curtis Samuel. I don't need you anymore. I can draft anybody behind him. I can work on retooling the defense through the draft. I don't care about none of all that stuff. I'm gonna keep building on this offense. I'm gonna make sure that whatever quarterback comes into place, assuming that Carson Wentz works out, because clearly you're making these moves because Carson Wentz works out. You're not gonna bring in no AJ Brown or even another star-studded receiver if your quarterback ain't here. Like, you ain't gonna do that. You ain't gonna waste no resources like that. I'm gonna make sure that this offense is as prolific as possible. I will pay the tax and suffer on the defensive side of the football if it means I just have to draft better. Give me AJ Brown and Terry McLaurin. I'm cool with that. Curtis Samuel can go after this year. You don't have to worry about a major cap hit with him because after 2 years, it's a dead cap that's more team friendly than you can imagine. So he can go. Some other people can go. I'm cool with that. Give me AJ Brown, man. Okay. So, hey, Rico, Dre, I want you all to really have this conversation here with the top 30 prospects. Rico, you had a video that was pretty good on the top 30 visits. I looked at that one this morning about it was a spreadsheet that you had. And then, Dre, you mentioned something about the running backs that I wanted you to touch on as well. So I'll let you all handle this conversation. Washington's top 30 prospect visits does speak a little bit of volume in terms of one particular position. But we'll go ahead We'll go ahead and get into them right now. So far, what I have on my list that I have, and if I miss anything, y'all can just let me know. Ohio State receiver Chris Olave is coming for a visit. Alabama receiver John Mechie, Michigan safety Daxton Hill, Penn State offensive lineman Rasheed Walker, UTSA offensive guard Spencer Burford, Washington State offensive lineman Abe Lucas, Central Michigan offensive lineman Luke Gudecki, Penn State safety Jaquan Brisker, and then the last three our running backs. Iowa State, running back Brees Hall. Michigan State's Kenneth Walker III. And Texas A&M, Isaiah Spiller. So, fellas, y'all can take it away. Obviously, we see the two positions that kind of stands out. Technically 3 if you want to count receiver, but the ones really is safety and running back for real. Dre, you can go ahead and speak on what you saw with that running back spot and what that means for you, and then obviously Rico, your thoughts on what you were seeing with the top 30 visits at this point.
Well, just, yeah, I mean, I wonder, I mean, I know the team likes Antonio Gibson. I mean, he's, they drafted him with the thought of his potential, and he has got better, although, he still has the fumbling issues. And I also think there's still some technical issues that, he's not a natural running back that we've kind of seen throughout the course of his career. I mean, he's surviving off pure natural talent right now, but he's getting better at running back. But you see the running backs they're bringing in, like Kenneth Walker and these guys like that. And I'm just wondering, what is the team's confidence level going forward with Antonio Gibson? If maybe they're looking to finally give someone to challenge him. You look at guys like Kenneth Walker, Brees Hall, these type of running backs that's in the draft this year. These are guys that could challenge and be a top running back for someone in the league. I mean, not top in the league, but like someone starting running back in the league. Especially Kenneth Walker. I think he's a beast, man. He went to Wake Forest. He transferred to Michigan State, and he broke out this year. So, I mean, that's a guy you bring it in. If the team likes him, if they were to draft him, let's say in the second round, or maybe he fell to a third round, able to trade down and get a third round pick or something. If he's a guy that they were to land on, he's a guy that would challenge Antonio Gibson for the number 1 spot. So I just wonder what the team's confidence level going forward with Antonio Gibson. I mean, but obviously you're doing your due diligence. They have to do their due diligence regardless. But I do wonder, with the running back position, are they looking to add a guy there? Because right now you have obviously Antonio Gibson, you have J.D. McKissick, and you have Jared Patterson still there. Are they looking to add that 4th running back, or are they looking for someone to challenge at least Jared Patterson's spot or Antonio Gibson's starting spot?
Yeah, I think the running back situation is really tricky. First of all, before I dive into it, that Spencer Burford name, whatever, I'm done with it. I'm just going to call him Spencer from now on. I said it like 3 times in my video, and I just kept the one that sounded best. I'm through with that one.
I'm worse than y'all. Like, y'all, I can't pronounce names for shit. I can't pronounce words for shit, so go ahead, you got it.
I'm through with that one, bro. That man's name is Spencer from now on, and that's it. I'm sorry. I apologize to him. I'm done with that one. But yeah, the running back situation is really interesting, because it's not the fact that we're bringing in a lot of running backs per se. It's like where they're slated to go. Like Isaiah Spiller is potentially a late first, early second round pick. Kenneth Walker, same thing, somewhere in that second round. Brees Hall maybe in like the third. And so, like, I would like to bring in competition for Antonio Gibson, especially as an early down dependable guy, even though I think Antonio Gibson may eventually develop into that, especially once he learns to stop fumbling. But I'm just not willing to spend a first or second round pick on running back, especially not in this draft, especially with us not having a third round pick at this point. So I am a little afraid of that, but I'm really excited about Daxton Hill. I was worried about whether or not we were interested in him. And so bringing him in for a visit, that's probably the most excited I am about any of the visits, because I feel like if we miss out on Kyle Hamilton, Daxton Hill, slightly different player, but same kind of guy where you can play him in multiple positions, just like how the Cowboys use Micah Parsons, where depending on what the offense wants to do, Micah Parsons is going to erase that. If they like to run the ball, Micah Parsons is going to be a middle linebacker this game. If they like to run it on the outside, if they have a really good tight end, or if they have a quarterback that likes to run a lot, that's fairly mobile, tries to escape the pocket, you have him on the edge and let him be responsible for that. I feel like you could do the same thing with Daxton Hill or Kyle Hamilton. Depending on what you're matched up against, Daxton Hill could, if we're playing the Chiefs, Daxton Hill can kind of guard Travis Kelce and do the best on him out of anybody we currently have on roster between him and Cameron Curl. If we're going against a fast slot receiver, you put Daxton Hill on him. If we need a really rangy free safety this game, you can have Daxton Hill do that. So I think that would be one of our smartest moves right there. Kyle Hamilton slides to 11. I'm down. Daxton Hill, if we don't get him, even if we trade back, Daxton Hill may be there if in a trade back. I think that would be one of our best options right there.
Hold on. I do want to follow up on that, because Daxton Hill, is a beast. And I know a lot of people talk about Kyle Hamilton, and he's a guy. But one thing that worries me about Kyle Hamilton, even though I believe Kyle Hamilton's a beast and he's going to be a good player at the next level, but you do kind of wonder or worry about some of the comps where they say he could play linebacker or he could play safety. I'm not looking for that with this team. I know the team wants a Buffalo nickel and all that, but I don't think they need to get cute. But if we were to go that safety route, Daxton Hill is the guy I would love to have, because Daxton Hill could play that rangy free safety that I think we've been missing for years. I mean, he runs in the 4.3s. I mean, the guy was a beast last year. I mean, he's the only guy I will really be thrilled with on the defensive side of the football if we drafted. I mean, obviously, I wouldn't mind if we drafted one of the cornerbacks like Stingley or Gardner, but Daxton Hill is one guy. He's underrated. I probably wouldn't draft him at 11, but if we were to trade back with the Saints, like I mentioned earlier, in the 16, 19 range, he's there. I would definitely take him, no question.
And take it from a Georgia fan, man. We played them in the playoffs. I don't wish injuries on anybody, but the fact that he was hurt the whole week before we played them and he wasn't able to practice, that changed the game. I feel like we still would have won, of course, because we were a better team, obviously. But I feel like the game would have been closer because Daxton Hill is literally a player eraser. He would have just checked James Cook himself. He would have, been on one of our receivers. Like he erases somebody no matter who you need to erase. So the fact that I just feel like Michigan's defense was way better when he was there, when he had a full week of practice, when he was fully healthy. I think we get him. He takes our defense to the next level. Him and Cameron Curl, you could argue, is the best safety tandem in the NFL, up there with those Buffalo guys, and I think we're competing if you get Daxton Hill.
Lord Jesus.
Hey, bro.
Y'all be talking so highly about this Cam Curl dude, bro. Like,
oh no,
I don't see it. Like, I really don't see it, but I'll let y'all rock. I'll let y'all have y'all moment.
Well, tell us, AJ, what don't you like about Cam Curl? What is it with Cam Curl?
I don't even remember you having an issue with him. I thought he was cool.
Man, I think he's serviceable. I think I said something to y'all privately about it. I think he's serviceable, but I don't see all pro. I don't see Pro Bowl. I think he's serviceable for what they asked him to do. But that's also limited reps. He's not really playing full game, so it's completely different. I don't
think that's out of bounds.
I think what's really going on, I'm not really understanding why they're saying the Buffalo nickel is so important to them, but yet they failed to really utilize Landon Collins the proper way in the time frame that they did have him in the Buffalo nickel. And then on top of that, there's a guy sitting on the market that is, if you look at Buffalo nickel, he's probably the definition of that in Tyrann Mathieu, Honey Badger.
But he wants too much money.
Man, they ain't even reach out to Buddy to even know what he wants. But I mean, just from the dynamic of what I know about the team, like they could use somebody that could bring the troops together. You know what I mean? Now getting rid of Landon Collins, they don't really have that much of a veteran presence on that defense. Someone that could really like rally guys together and line guys up and there's not a lot of camaraderie on the team. Like, there really isn't. Like, a lot of these guys do their own different shit. I'd be interested to see if Kyle Allen is sitting there at 11, if they do go and get him. I think if you have the right defensive coordinator, you could be an amazing piece. But it really all boils down to coaching. Like, you look at Micah Parsons, right? Last year in the draft, he's supposed to be an all-ball linebacker. Dallas ended up selecting him at 12. They ended up having an injury with DeMarcus Lawrence. Dan Quinn was smart enough to say, like, hey, this dude has pass rushing skill set. I'm going to go ahead and line him up at DN. And that's where he really blew up. Like, that's where he really did his thing. And he should have probably been there from day one. But it's like, if you don't have the defensive coordinators to think like that, you in a bad situation overall. So if you get a Daxton Hill or Kyle Hamilton, you still got to have the coaches that's going to put them in the right position to be able to do what they do. Because those type of safeties right there, in my opinion, are rovers. Like, they could play anywhere on the field, but you got to allow them to be able to play with their instincts and not really try to force them into certain situations. And I mean, with Washington having all these running backs coming in, I already told y'all they don't love Antonio Gibson. It'd just be crazy if they took a running back second round though. That would be fucking insane.
Yeah, that's the part that's hard for me to
That
conceptualize.
and the guy,
First or
and the
second
guys
round.
that they looking at are second round draft picks. So that's kind of alarming. But once again, we don't know what the fuck these dudes are doing.
Hey, so one thing before we get into the mock draft and close the thing out, AJ, from your perspective, your professional perspective, what is the top 30 or 30 visit? I don't know, what is it, top 30? Like what does that mean for a prospect? And that, like, is it something serious when they're visiting the team, or is it like just standard protocol in a pre-draft process?
Nah, it's definitely something serious. And even guys that you may not see on the list, they can still get drafted to the team. Like even prime example with Ben St. Juste, who we had on the show recently, he didn't have a visit to Washington. He didn't even really have a relationship with them, and they still drafted him third round. So it's more so some teams want to bring in guys to get a better understanding of them, see if their family was in the military. No, I'm just fucking around. But they just want to get to know a guy, and depending on their prospects availability on their calendar, they'll go ahead and bring them in. But it doesn't mean that they're gonna pick a guy or really in love with them all the way. They just want to gain some familiarity with them. Maybe have some of them do private workouts. Like I'm pretty sure Olave comes in town either tonight or tomorrow, but they'll probably have him do a private workout for him. It just really all depends. Like it depends on how much they like a guy and what they really want to see. Maybe some things that they didn't see on tape, they didn't see at the combine, they didn't see at the pro day that they might want guys to showcase and see how it might work within their format. But I don't think it's too telling. It could all be misdirection as well. But once again, we don't really know what this team is doing front office wise, so it's kind of hard to diagnose. Other teams, you can pretty much like pick up on what they do, but with this team, really just don't know. Because I don't believe did Jamin Davis come in for a visit last year.
I wouldn't even be able to tell you. I don't know.
Okay.
Matter of fact, let me take a look. But yeah, I don't know. I have to take a look. What's going on?
I mean, like I said, they probably just want to see if guys, got some commanders in their family.
but look, AJ, I mean, I know Ben St. Juste was a third round pick last year, but remember he said he forgot that he even talked to the damn Commanders last year or the Washington football team last year. He said I think he may have had a conversation with Chris Harris, the DB's coach last year. But that was it. He said he had no clue he was getting drafted to the Commanders. So sometimes you just don't know. Like those visits and all of that, they don't really matter sometimes in the scheme of things. I mean, because like I said, St. Juste said he had no clue that he was coming in. And I'm not sure about Sam Cosmi. I know he was drafted in the second round. I don't remember if he was a guy that came and visited or he was a guy linked to us on a pro day or whatever. But that's somebody else you might want to look into. But I just remember Ben St. Juste on this podcast, he told us he had no clue he was going to the Commanders. Said he had only talked to Chris Harris once, and I think that may have been at a combine.
Yeah, and what happens is some teams will bring in guys that they really like, and some teams will bring in guys that they believe might get drafted within their division or on their schedule that year, so they can have a better understanding of that player. And some teams even utilize the visits for maybe down the road you become a free agent. Like we have a better understanding of you, we build that rapport with you. It just really all depends on the franchise. With this particular team, I don't know what they're actually doing. But like I said, like some teams utilize it for completely different reasons. They really want to like get to know a person. Hey, they might become a free agent in 4 years. We believe that us as a staff will still be here. We might want to bring them in. We already have built that rapport. We got to understand, and we can also put notes down in our game plan of this player, what they can and can't do. We know what makes them tick. We know different intricacies of them. But with this team, like I don't really know what's the forecast of shit. It's kind of like all over the place, because you would think they would use more of those visits for positions of need, but you see a lot of running backs on that schedule.
Yeah, just to add another reason, we may be bringing some guys in as a smokescreen, like knowing that the Cowboys, maybe even the Eagles, maybe even the Giants with the Saquon Barkley injury situation and contract and all of that coming up, that maybe we're bringing in all of these running backs to make, our other division rivals think like these guys may really go running back. So we may need to take running back sooner than we originally would. So that may be another mind game, but I just don't know if we're the organization that thinks that far ahead. Because like you said, don't nobody know what's going on. I don't even think Martin Mayhew knows what Rivera wants and vice versa at this point.
Hey, Ronnie, what's the plan? What we got going on today? What we doing? What are we doing? Hey, what's the website AJ and Dre that we were doing the mock draft on last time? I don't remember.
I think that was the PFF. I think it was PFF. Yeah, PFF draft simulator.
Yeah, we use PFF.
Okay.
Yeah.
PFF. Here we go again. PFF mock simulator. Did I pull it up?
Y'all might as well not even ask me what I'm doing with the 11th overall pick.
Nope. See, that's why I'm here. I told y'all I was hiding something for y'all on purpose, man. Because we gotta get an audible, man. We gotta
say that again.
I said that's why I told y'all I got a surprise for y'all, man. We on our side, AJ, Dre, and myself. Rico, you're free to do whatever you need to do on your mock draft. But us three, we gotta show some versatility, man. We gotta show some skill sets on our side. So here for everybody,
this is a Jameson Williams Stan account.
Yeah, that's unfortunate today. So what we got going on, fellas and ladies that's listening and watching, we're gonna do 3-round mock drafts. We are picking our 3. You can trade back. You can trade as many times as you want, as many times as you feel that you need. But for Rico, you have whatever it is that you want to do. But for us, Dre, AJ, and myself, the rule is no receiver in the first round. Any other position but receiver, like you can select. So we have to maneuver that way, fellas. That's our game because we did receiver last week. We got to switch it up, see what we got going on in the mock drafts this time around. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this thing started. Rico, you're gonna take the first stab at it, get your mock draft going. And let's go ahead and get to it. Share my screen. Window, tab, there you go. Boom. All right, how is it looking on this side? Let me double check. Let me go ahead and remove this thing. Hold on 1 second. Remove there we go. And there we go. All right. So let's get into this thing right now. Mock draft simulator. How do I do this again? We are picking with the Commanders. We are doing 3 rounds. Let's go ahead into this draft. And
they got trades?
Let's go ahead and take a look. Start the draft. All right, you are on the clock. Let's check. You got 3 trades, Rico. So let's go ahead and run through this for people who are listening to the podcast. I'm going to run through the picks 1 through 10. Aiden Hutchinson, Derek Stingley went to Detroit.
Too.
Kayvon, yeah. Kayvon Thibodeau, 3. Cal Hamilton, 4. Ekwonu, 5. Ahmad Gardner, 6. Trayvon Walker, 7. Charles Cross, 8. Evan Neal, 9. And George Karlaftis went 10 on a trade between the Jets and Seattle. So you are on the clock, Rico. Where you going?
All right, so yeah, I'm gonna take a look at those trades, but that Jameson Williams, man, I'm a Jameson Williams Stan account too, but it's too appetizing. But I gotta see what they talking about on these trades.
All right, so right now you have 2 trades. New Orleans Saints. Oh wait, how do I do this again? Oh, there we go. My bad. New Orleans Saints for pick 16. Chicago Bears. They telling you they want to go out to the second round, pick 39, and then the Las Vegas Raiders pick 86. They are interested in number 11. And then you got the other teams at the bottom. I don't know if you're able to see this, but you got the Vikings, Houston, Baltimore as well that you can also try to maneuver with.
Oh yeah, no, Kizzy. I'm gonna have to do that Saints trade and see who falls there. I got to. I got to.
All right.
I hope they do that in real life.
So you got the Saints trade. You are trading your pick 6. I mean, you are trading pick 11 for their 16. Do you want? What else do you want from the Saints side? Are you able to see this side?
Yeah, I can see that. What are they asking for that 19th with the package with the 16? If we can trade back and get both of those.
Let's see.
I don't know how detailed this thing
I'm tripping.
is.
You know what? Here you go. Right, my bad. Here you go. Right here.
That green meter tells you the acceptance rate of the trade, how likely they are to accept it.
Yeah,
Okay.
So you still got 16, 19. It's still in the green. We put the 19th pick in there. You can add a little bit more if you want to next year or 2024 or a little bit later on in the 2022 draft.
Yeah, if we can see about that 16 and that 19 and see what we got to give up to do it, because I think that's realistic. I think they may really trade up, because right now the whole NFC South is looking for a quarterback, and even though this isn't a highly touted quarterback class, it may get to the point where they're competing with each other to go and get it. And you don't want to be the team that could have had Malik Willis, and then like say you're the Panthers and the Saints trade up to get Malik Willis, and now he's killing y'all twice a year. Like, I just think somebody's gonna overdraft one or two of these guys because of that.
The trade got vetoed between the 16th and the 19th pick for Washington's 11th. So you got 4 more assists.
Okay.
4 more attempts.
Yeah. You know what, man? I may not even take the chance. Like in real life, Jameson Williams there while we picking 11th. I gotta do it, man. I gotta go ahead. I think he's literally gonna be wide receiver 1 when this draft is all said and done, for real.
All right, we got Jameson Williams off the board to the Washington Commanders. Up next, pick 47. It's funny, we were talking about Breece Hall. He just got selected a pick before Washington is on the clock. So right now, Washington's on the clock at pick 47. I'll go to the last 5 to make things a little bit quicker. Kyler Gordon, cornerback out of Washington, went to the Colts. Desmond Ridder is off the board. He went to the Falcons. Drake Jackson, edge rusher, I believe, from USC, went to the Browns. Jaquan Brisker, safety from Penn State, went to the Baltimore Ravens. And we just talked about Breece Hall. So where you at with your second pick?
All right. I already got my eye on somebody, but can I get a little bit of scroll down just to see what's going on if I make a mistake? I'm good on all that. Good on all that. Good. My boy Pickens. We already took first though. Yeah, go ahead and get me Chad Muma, man. That's a tough draft right there. I think that's big time.
All right.
I love Chad Muma a lot. I think he's basically just more athletic Blake Martinez. If we can get more athletic 2020 Blake Martinez, I think that's a home run pick in the second.
There we go. All right, so let's see what that grade was from PFF. You got yourself a man. Get out of here. I ain't doing no this.
They tried it though.
All right, they tried it. All right, let's go ahead and say this thing right quick. We're gonna put this out for the people tomorrow, and I'll make most sure that thing is out there. So we got Jameson Williams in the first round and Chad Muma in the second round, and a 3-round mock draft for the Washington Commanders. Your boy Rico made that thing. So let's go ahead and switch it up. Fellas, y'all know what time it is. Dre, you up. You going to go first, man. Remember, no receiver in the first round. We got to switch that thing up a little bit. Let's go ahead and start up new Washington Commanders. Boom, and the draft. Let's get to it. Start the draft. And, this is somewhat similar. Stingley went 3rd instead of 2 this time. I'll just do the last 5.
Is that a thing?
Gardner. Yeah, it's weird. And Kyle Hamilton went 4. Okay. So Ahmad Gardner 6 to the Panthers, George Karlaftis to the Giants,
George K.
Ecom E to the Falcons. Jesus Christ, Charles Carl, Seattle, Trayvon Walker. I'm gonna stop doing this because I can't, man. Trayvon Walker, edge rusher to the New York Jets. Dre, you are on the clock. It's only one position that you can't get.
Show me them trades, man. Let me see. New Orleans up there.
It's like 4 receivers taking up the whole screen.
We ain't trading with the Cowboys, man. We ain't doing that.
So you got Tennessee and Dallas.
I'm the only 2
in terms of interested.
What Tennessee? What's their first round pick? What's the number on that?
26.
Yeah, go back to draft a player. We ain't doing that. What is damn, man?
They was the number 1 seed. They just lost early. I forgot about that.
I ain't going down that far. Of these options, damn, no receiver. Oh man. And they screwed me with these trades, man. They ain't giving me the Saints. You know what I'm saying? They definitely screwed me, man. All right, go back up to the top. I go. You know what? Never mind. Go ahead and trade down with the damn.
So we still got
26th
pick
pick?
12, 13 with the Vikings, the Texans, the Ravens, the Saints. You can try and finesse something out of them.
Yeah, let's go to the Saints, man. See if I can
Let's go
see
to
if the
the
Saints.
Saints. You'll get
Let me
the
get
16th.
16.
Do what you got to
Mhm.
do to get that 16 and 19, man.
Then 19 and give him my first and give him next year's second round pick.
Oh,
Well, I might not
No
do
still
that.
not
Nah,
interested.
I can't do that because take 19 off. You can take 19 off and give me
Alright.
49 instead.
49. Okay.
Yeah, let me get 49.
Rocking that.
Yeah.
Mm.
They said not accepted.
Trade
Man.
not accepted. You
Man,
got
have
to throw
4
in-
more
I don't know.
attempts.
Yeah.
Let's see what a second.
Give him second round next year. Yeah, see
All
what they say.
Let's see.
They just said they not interested in trading for the pick. They happy with 16.
They said,
Damn.
you. Somebody must have took
Hey.
their player.
That means they
Somebody
got
must have took
faith
their
in
player.
us. Because if they don't want our second round pick next
Hey.
year for their second round pick this year, they're assuming we about to win a lot of games. It's going to be a later second. I'm going to take that as a compliment.
You know what? All right. Because of that, I'm gonna go with Trent McDuffie I'm gonna take the cornerback, Trent McDuffie. He the third best cornerback in the draft. I'm gonna take Trent McDuffie.
All right.
All right. Hey.
It can't be this hard to do business though, like with these
That's what I'm
trades.
saying. Yeah, they don't even want to answer the call. New Orleans hung up on me. Hey.
PFF got
So
this
we got-
on Madden, bro.
Hey.
So we
All
got
right.
the last 5. Kyler Gordon, Washington cornerback, went to Indy. Jalen Petrie, cornerback, went to Atlanta. George Pickens, receiver, went to Cleveland. Logan Hall from Houston went to Baltimore.
Damn,
Brees
Pickens
Hall
went already?
once again
man.
went to the goddamn Minnesota Vikings.
All right.
So here we go. I'll scroll down for you.
Let me see them trades, man.
Oh, you got 7 trade offers. Oh,
yeah,
man.
I might can get me who got the best second round pick? Is the Green Bay? They got the best one?
Yeah, 53.
Okay. Green Bay. Let me give 53 and 92 for 47.
47. Uh-oh. Let's see. Damn.
They said it's trade lobster. Oh, you ain't add 53 on it. Oh, yeah. What?
Oh, there. Let's try it again. Oh,
here we go. All right,
there you
all
go.
right, here we go.
There you go.
Yeah,
All right,
bet.
Zoom Trav. I almost fucked you up with that one.
Yeah, now I can get my
All right,
Chad
here we go.
movement. Yeah, let me go ahead and no, hold on. Let me see what wide receiver on there first.
I filter it.
Yeah,
There you go.
Jalen Tolbert, Khalil Shakir. All right, yeah, let me go ahead and get all right, that's fine. Let me go ahead and get Chad Muma. Yeah, I'll take Chad
All
Muma.
right, Chad Muma. Exit out of this.
Hey,
And
get our coverage linebacker right there.
All
right.
right. And now we got a third rounder coming up.
Yeah, there we go. Give me my third rounder.
All
right.
You want me to go to receiver right quick?
Yeah, go to receivers. Let's see what we got. That's who I wanted too. Let me get Romeo Dubes. Let me get him. It's Carson Strong's man. Hey.
Okay, there we
Boom.
go. Put our thinking caps on for this one. That one was a little, and you got an A-. There you go.
Hey,
I like
look at
that.
that.
I like
go.
that.
Hey.
All right.
A-,
All
baby.
right, let's go ahead
I don't
and
like that grade for Romeo Dubes. I picked him right
Yeah,
where
they
he should
hate
go. You know what I'm saying? That's
Yeah,
where
they
he go.
All right. Hey, AJ, you know what time it is, man. Look,
AJ ain't on, is he?
I don't know. Oh no, he right here.
Oh, yes.
Right here.
Oh,
My
okay.
bad. I ain't know he left the chat, but AJ's perfect time because you up. So I ain't trying to hear that.
Niggas left me backstage like I was a groupie.
Hey man, I was on this goddamn mock draft joint, you know what I'm saying?
Nah, it's all good.
But you good though. Cause now you know what time it is. Is you up next? Ain't no Jameson Williams, at least at 11. Maybe you could find him in the early second. Let's see. But let's go ahead and start this draft.
I can't take a wide receiver at all first round.
No receiver in the first round, man. No receiver. So let's go to the last 4 picks. Be quick with this one. Derek Stingley went to the New York Giants. Trent McDuffie to the Atlanta Falcons. Aquanu to the Seattle Seahawks. Trayvon Walker to the New York Jets. The Washington Commanders are on the motherfucking clock.
All right, so Saints have the 16th and 19th overall pick, right?
Yeah, you got two trade offers from the Eagles and then from the Dolphins. The Eagles at pick 15 and then the Dolphins at pick 102.
Go to the drop box again.
All right.
You said I got Eagles and I got who?
Eagles and the Dolphins. Eagles pick 15 and Dolphins pick 102.
Pick 102.
You know, Dolphins ain't got no picks, man. They traded them all.
They gonna move.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that is true. I forgot. Let's see. I could trade 15.
Hey, this is hilarious. I don't know if y'all see this on our screen, but the pick. Do y'all see
yeah,
the
it's gonna say every. It say every position,
bro. I ain't never seen no shit like that.
Oh, they
before,
did them
bro.
filthy.
All right, let me do
position.
this. Let me get that shit. Let me see if I can get that 15th and 18th pick off of Philly.
All right.
Offer them the 11th overall.
All right.
And then also offer them a second round next year.
6%
And
chance
also,
to be accepted.
Also offer them 4th round. Damn.
AJ, you gonna have to offer him a round 1 next year.
Nah, I ain't doing that.
I put in a 2024 second for you, but that's a lot.
I don't want to do that. Let me. Damn, I would love to get both of them picks. Let me get
I think they're just too close together, bro. 15 to 18, that's gonna be rough.
Hold on. Let me. All right. Let me see if I can get the. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you good.
Mm-hmm. All right. Let me just get Philly 15th overall pick. And then let me get their second round pick, which is the 51st. No. Yeah. Offer that trade.
Nope.
All right. See if I could give them 113 round 4. And then also give them round 4 next year.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, see if that'll work.
Accept it.
Okay.
All right.
So AJ moved back from 11 to 15. He picked up that was the second rounder, right? The
yeah.
All right, so a second
and his man Jameson still there.
Right. Scroll down. Let me see who else available.
All right.
I can't take no wide receiver. Goddamn.
Nah, bro. That every position is crazy. That is.
You know what?
They did them like that.
You know what I would do? Keep going down a little bit more. Man, I might fuck around and take Malik Willis.
Okay, if that's what you want to do.
Yeah, let me get Malik Willis, bro.
Alright, okay.
Since I can't take a wide receiver.
I like this. Okay, we working something.
If I can move back and do that.
All right, now we on the clock. Let's go to you want me to go ahead filter to receiver, see what you got up there?
Yeah, I guess you can see.
All right, we got Jalen Tolbert, Justin Ross, Christian Watson, Alec Pierce, John.
What happened to Justin Ross, bro? He was so filthy his freshman year.
Yeah, that was weird.
Yeah, I'll take Christian Watson.
Okay, Christian Watson. Let's go ahead and draft that boy. Now you back on the clock again. You have a trade offer if you want. Okay.
Go down a little bit. Let me see who else is available.
Okay, I see it. I know you see it.
I know. I see a couple things that I want to do there.
All right.
Go back up.
Going back up.
Damn, this is tough. Right here.
So for those who are listening, Jalen Petrie right now at pick 51 is the highest rated person on the board.
That's what I'm thinking about picking. But I'm like, do I really want to do that?
That's your Buffalo nickel. Yeah, Jalen Petrie, Buffalo nickel.
No, that's what I'm like. Oh. Yeah, let me go ahead and I'm not going to do Petrie. I'm going to go ahead and get Kenneth Walker.
Okay. Boom, there we go.
Because I had 2 seconds, so.
Was that? Oh, yeah, that was it. Okay, let's see what grade we got. A-.
Damn.
Okay.
It was that
D
number
plus
one pick. That's I'm
How
about to
you
say,
get
it was
that? He
number
got a
one,
D
though.
plus and a C plus, and he had an A
Oh, they grade trades too. I ain't even realize that. I didn't know they grade trades too. So that's probably what
So
it
they
was.
feel like
The
he
trades
finessed the
and Malik
Eagles.
Willis. Uh-huh.
Yeah, I
That's
ended
what
up
that
getting
was.
2 second-round picks.
Yeah, all right. Let's see what I got. You know what I'm saying? I'm the big dog over here. I'm
Yeah,
about to make some
yeah.
things shake.
Now they hated
I'm
on
about to
Christian
make
You know,
some
I
Watson,
don't think
things
bro.
that would
shake.
happen, but that's what I would do because I don't believe in Carson Wentz. But hey,
Yeah,
I'm scared too.
I think we all are, bro. Okay, here we go.
he's scared as well.
The last four, man. Evan Neal, tackle, went to the Giants. Amon Gardner to the Falcons. Trayvon Walker to
See
the
that?
Seahawks.
They took both tackles. They went tackle both times. They said they done with it.
Oh Lord Jesus. All right, so I got 4 trade offers at my spot. Let's see what we got. Pick 20 with the Steelers, pick 26 with the Titans, pick 35, and then pick 102. Who do I have on the board? Trent McDuffie is up there. Devin Lloyd, N'Kobe Dean, Jordan Davis, and let's scroll through Jalen Petrie. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna trade back too. I'm gonna go trade to that sweet spot, that pick 20, offer my 11. But then I will ask for their 50, and let's see what I got. Let's see what I can do with these guys.
See, I ain't get that kind of luck.
Wait a
I mean,
minute.
that works. That works on the.
That
That
man
works on the
changed the
value
sliders.
system.
They
Yeah,
needed a
that works on the
quarterback,
value
man.
system.
They needed the quarterback. So
That man
so
changed
those
the
who are
sliders.
listening, I traded my pick 11 to the Steelers, moved back to the 20th spot and picked up their 52nd overall pick, the second rounder, and then third rounder, the 84th overall pick.
That's
So let's go ahead
big,
and resume this draft.
That's a big jug.
Hell
Did they end up taking
yeah.
a quarterback when they moved up?
Anybody take
Oh yeah, that's a good question. Did
No,
they?
I'm saying when.
Oh, did
when
they? My
Pittsburgh
bad.
moved up, did they?
They had to. Where they at? What the hell? They moved
What?
up for?
They
Edge
moved
rusher?
up for an edge rusher. Get the fuck out.
Oh Lord Jesus. And then the Saints took Malik Willis. Okay. All right. So fellas, I'm gonna explain my pick. You know what I'm saying? I could do things like that. I'm gonna explain my pick. I'm gonna go. I think games are won and lost in the trenches, fellas. And this guy, I don't know. It's gonna be hard for me to kind of pass him the more I see him, and I'm gonna go with Jordan Davis at pick 20. I feel like the interior pass rush is always something to be spoken for, but also if you can have a game record at that spot along with Jonathan Allen, I think things can go well at least for 4 years, and you can figure things out afterwards.
You
So
trading
wow.
DeRon Payne? Because somebody coming off the bench.
I mean Jordan.
Well, Jordan
That's a good
Davis.
question.
Jordan Davis, even as a Georgia guy, he moves big really well for his weight, but like he was only in there like 40% of the time, really. So I think that's just natural for him anyway. He's not gonna play a bunch of snaps. He's not gonna play as many snaps as Jonathan Allen, DeRon Payne at the next level anyway. He's gonna play really, really well, but just like a few snaps a game. I'm
glad you said that. You know what?
I made you pivot.
Yeah, it made me pivot a little bit. Cause I trust him before I fucking trust my goddamn own analysis. I don't watch Georgia every week. All right, okay.
Hey, Jordan Davis is gonna be nice, man.
Yo, he's gonna be filthy. I can see him being an all-pro. It's just,
but see, here's where it may not be a bad pick because you never know what's gonna happen with DeRon Payne.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, you never know.
I wasn't saying that to discourage you. I was just letting you know, like, he can work in the rotation.
I'm listening. I'm evaluating. You know what I'm saying? Look, y'all in my war room right now. Okay, so pick 47. Right before me, Breece Hall went to the Browns. Jaquan Brisker, safety, went to the Ravens. Kyler Gordon cornerback went to the Vikings. Now here we go. I found my receiver. Who do we got up there? Christian Watson, Alec Pierce, John Mechie, Calvin Austin. Ooh, Okay, so I'm kind of torn between Christian and Alec Pierce, because I know a little bit about Alec Pierce. I know he runs that 4.3. I know that much, but I don't know what concerns me is what I don't know about Christian Watson. I've only been able to see like clips of his game, but I haven't been able to see like a full game of Christian Watson in a sense, like evaluating type. Um, but I'll trust some people that I've seen over the past couple weeks. I have them in their top 5. Some people that I trust in their evaluations. So I'm gonna go Christian Watson in this spot, pick 47, and hope that their evaluations are correct.
Hey Dre,
So
why we didn't get his dad Tupac Shakur on the show yet?
Yeah, he was scared he was gonna get pressed out.
that man was he look. Hey, I checked this page like a day or two ago, or maybe 2 or 3 days ago. That boy is going at it with everybody. He has not stopped at all.
Y'all talking about Christian Watson's dad? He going crazy?
Yeah. Christian Watson's folks, you know what I'm saying? He having a little debate with the whole Twitter universe, literally. Okay, so
as if they drafting his kid.
Mm-hmm. Christian Watson. I'm gonna go ahead and get Trey McBride, tight end. At this spot, we are at pick 52. I'm gonna go ahead and get Trey McBride, and then we have one more pick here at pick 84. All right. Let me see if I can get me a linebacker. I see that Nick Cross guy there. I see you, buddy. But I ain't about to get you.
You got James Cook.
Where Cook at? That person?
Yeah.
Oh, James. Oh. Lord, where the linebackers at, man? I need my linebackers. Who the fuck is JoJo Domon?
Couldn't tell you.
I'm about to say no disrespect to him. You know what I'm saying? I ain't knee deep into the draft world.
He's a tweener. JoJo's a tweener.
Okay. Good Lord, this is crazy.
Hey, don't y'all wish you could have the job of like Mel Kiper? Bro, yeah. This dude just sits around and does mock drafts and talks about players I ain't never seen or heard of him being at a pro day in my life. Like, he just sit at home and just chill. At least Tyler and Shay be at pro days.
But you know, Mel Kiper, he get away with it because he started doing that shit in the 80s before anybody ever went to pro days and all of that shit. Like, so they just letting them stay around, you know?
Yeah. But it is kind of like the weatherman, where like you can be as long as you want, you good.
I don't know who got a better job, him or the Cynthia Freeload lady, whatever her name is.
Analytic.
She just be making up bullshit, like random ass numbers. It don't equal to be nothing. Like,
hey man, you gotta sound smart. You good, man?
Hey,
there's some goddamn Mo. They ain't like your draft, man. And you fleeced them.
They just a bunch of haters, bro. That's all that is, man. It's a bunch of haters, dog. First off, how they give me a B+ and I got 3 picks out their ass, bro? That's crazy.
They give you a B,
A+.
They ain't even give you the plus, man. They give you a whole B.
I ain't about to share this shit tomorrow, but I ain't sharing my. Fuck this. All right, let me stop sharing, man. Hey, hold on, I got some comments to catch up on. Oh shoot, I forgot I put that in the. God damn it, I forgot I put that in the chat. All right, so hey, look, I promise before the draft, everybody, we will have some time where we can get some people on to do some mock drafts with us, man. Y'all gonna have y'all options, y'all opportunity to do some mock drafts with Travel Dive, and obviously see what you got for your 3-round mock for the Commanders, man. Rico, before we get out of here, first and foremost, I appreciate you hopping on and even staying a little bit longer because I didn't even anticipate this show going this long tonight, but you know, it is what it is, brother. Energy was fine, man. Let the people know where they can find you on your socials, find you on your YouTube, all that good stuff. Boy, the floor is yours.
Yes, sir, man. I just be cooling, man. Definitely let me know whenever y'all want to have me back on here anytime. You can find me on YouTube, Street Scores. You can find me on Twitter, Street Scores ATL. Also, I got a notification while doing the mock drafts. The Rams are eyeing getting Stephon Gilmore possibly. So I don't know what's going on with that. But yeah, man, thank y'all for having me. This was really fun. Again, whenever y'all doing something like this again, just let me know.
Absolutely.
Hey
Absolutely.
man, good to have you on.
Yes, sir.
Hey, let me ask. This is random out there. Y'all really think Hutchinson gonna go number one?
I don't know. I mean,
Because
typically
I'm
when
starting to
people,
think it's Walker Thibodeau.
I would say typically when people do that, the consensus picks, I don't. It's hard to say that they wrong, but it's like, I mean, there's always a percent chance. But when they had a consensus picks, it's probably like a an analysis based on the information that they got. So I would be surprised if Hutchinson doesn't go.
My question is, when's the last draft that didn't have a consensus number one, like pretty much 2 weeks before the draft has come out? I mean, because right now I don't know who the consensus number one in this draft is. Last few years we've known who the consensus number one is, but I guess if it's trending towards Hutchinson, which it seems like, I think he might be the guy.
I think Hutchinson's safer, but Trevon Walker with that ceiling. Kayvon Thibodeau has that ceiling too, but he's just way riskier because his risk is like, does he care? Trevon Walker's more so raw, not very productive because we had so many defensive linemen, they were basically seeing who would get to the quarterback first. So he just wasn't able to put up crazy numbers. Hutchinson is definitely safer for sure. So if the Jaguars want to play it safe and get like a guaranteed guy, I think Aiden Hutchinson is the guy because I think he gets too much flack too for that Georgia game. When we played Michigan, just like was talking about the Daxton Hill situation, we kind of threw the ball quickly and we ran plays away from him. So it wasn't even like it was kind of like how they overblew the Chase Young situation with Clemson, where he was getting double teamed and people were like, well, he didn't have a sack and all of that type of stuff. I think it's kind of like that. So I think Aiden Hutchinson is the safer, smarter pick there. But hey, Trevon Walker might be a beast for sure.
All right, fellas. Appreciate everybody for watching. Boss Top, appreciate you checking in. Khalil, appreciate you checking in. Jimmy, appreciate you checking in. The fellas will be back in a couple weeks. Next week is the All 32 side of Trap or Dive. Remember, man, we didn't go receiver round one, so do not be too harsh on us when we put these things out tomorrow. All right? We had to do what we had to do. But with that being said, man, we out of here. Y'all enjoy y'all night, enjoy y'all day, all that good stuff. Peace. Here we go.